Oh, that one's already up? Okay, cool. Hi everyone, this is Daniel Paskill with White Rock Coffee, and today we're going to be taking you guys through a brew guide for our Colombia Yellow Pacamara coffee. This coffee comes from the Huila region of Colombia. It's gone through a multi-stage fermentation. Part of it was outdoor, part of it was anaerobic, so low oxygen environment. And because of this, it has a lot of weird, wild, fruity, and fermented characteristics to it. So it's a very excited, very interesting offering that we're going to be showcasing for you guys today. Next up, let's take a look at what specific recipe we're going to be using today. We're going to be using the Citra dripper. So this dripper has multiple exit holes on the bottom, so it allows for a really fast flow rate of coffee as it's exiting the brewer, which is going to work very well for a highly soluble coffee like this. We are going to be using 20 grams of coffee, and we're going to be using that at a 1:16 ratio, so 320 grams of water. For this recipe, we're going to be using 205 degree water today for this kettle, but anything between 200 to 205 should work. First thing we're going to do is make sure that our paper filter is pre-rinsed. So we're going to place that in the bottom of our Citra, rinse right in the middle, and then up the sidewalls and make sure that everything is saturated. This is preheating our Citra and our server and making sure that they're closer to the temperature that the coffee is going to be while it's brewing. Okay, we'll go ahead and dump out that water. Next up, we'll place our 20 grams of coffee into the bottom of the Citra. As always with this brewer, we're making sure that before we start pouring water in, we are moving the bed of coffee side to side, ensuring that the coffee bed is very level and very flat. This will make sure that when we start passing water through the coffee, it goes through as evenly as possible. Blooming can help offset a lot of gases that are found naturally in between the grounds. So if we get rid of those early, you'll notice that your coffee is bubbling up and the bed is kind of expanding. As long as we can get rid of those early, that'll make water passing through our bed of coffee a lot easier and a lot more even when we need it to be. We're going to wait for about 60 seconds and then start the next portion of our brew. Now that we're getting close to starting our pour, we're going to divide our pours into two different segments. So we're going to do 50% of our water in one, 50% of our water in another. So our goal is to use 320 grams of water for this recipe. So now that I've done my bloom, I'm going to add about 130 grams of water. So if you're following along with a kettle at home, we've gone from 60 grams of water up to about 190 grams of water. Okay, now that we've added our first 130 gram dose into our Citra, we're going to wait and watch our coffee bed as the water level descends down. Once we start seeing that the water level gets really close to the actual bed of grounds, we're going to go ahead and add the next 130 grams. That's going to bring us right up to 320, and then we'll be finished. I'm seeing inside the bed of coffee now that I'm getting really close to the ground, so I'm going to go ahead and add my next 130 grams. This is our second and final dose of water that we're adding in for this recipe. I'm going in an orbit pattern to make sure that I pour as evenly as possible for this brew, and we are going all the way up to 320 grams. As this slurry is drawing down right here, we're looking for somewhere around a 3-minute, 30-second brew time with this coffee. We wanted a little bit of a longer brew length, so we didn't end up with any sour characteristics to this coffee, considering how highly acidic it is. Okay, now we're at the end of our brew. We'll go ahead and place this onto the side, and only thing left is to taste. Wow. One of the reasons that we went with a double pour segment instead of something like a single pour or a timed pour is because this coffee has a lot of beautiful acidic notes to it, but we want them to come out a little bit less and be tempered more by some sweetness. So with our double pour method, we were finding that we were able to bring a little bit more sweetness while maintaining some of the benefits of that acidity. When we were testing some of our other recipes, they ended up coming out a little bit too acidic than what we wanted. This coffee has some fantastic characteristics of a lot of different tropical fruits. So there's elements of kiwi there, there's a little bit of pineapple on top of it. Because of the multi-stage fermentation that this coffee has gone under, there's almost a hop-like characteristic to it. So there's a nice, it's not too strong, but there's a little bit of booziness to this coffee as well that's very pleasant when combined with everything else. Okay everyone, so that's all for our brew guide for our Colombia Yellow Pacamara coffee. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and that you guys pick up this coffee as soon as you can. It's available now in stores and online. And if you'd like to learn more how to brew our coffees the way that I just did in this video, you can go to wrcoffee.com, click on the education tab, and find out about one of our classes that we'll be hosting soon. Thanks. Finger guns always helps.